The city of Aurora is contradicting itself on the extent of Venezuelan gang activity in that city. The mayor told Fox News this week the gang is collecting rent at a troubled apartment complex. The interim police chief, in a video press release, says that's not happening.
It's that intimidation factor where you've got Venezuelan gang members who have gone into an apartment complex where there's a concentration of Venezuelans and pushed out the property management through intimidation, and now they're intimidating the tenants there to pay them the rent and probably extort other things from them.
I'm not saying that there's not gang members that don't live in this community, but what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex. We've really made an effort to the last few days to just really ask the specific questions or the direct questions in terms of the gang activity and who's actually making sure that people aren't paying rent to gang leaders or gang members, that's not happening. And we've discovered here today and yesterday talking to so many residents that that's not the case.
So we don't generally air video news releases from police departments and cities for ethical reasons. We weren't there to shoot that video ourselves or ask Chief Morris any questions. But her comments in that video directly contradict what Mayor Kaufman said and add further confusion in a week when the city's public statements on Venezuelan gang activity hasn't always lined up. Mayor Kaufman has said contradictory things in interviews just hours apart. The city's trying to get a court order to clear out 2 or 3 apartment buildings to combat gang activity. They're planning to declare the properties a, quote, criminal nuisance.
I was a gang sergeant. I was in charge of gangs and narcotics together, and we worked mainly Hispanic gangs in the San Francisco Bay Area, but I do understand this gang because they are the same as every other. But this one's a little bit more violent, and we should be a little bit more concerned. All right, so how did TREN, or TDA, how did their presence grow in Denver? Now, big one is immigration patterns. Now, Denver has seen an increase in Venezuelan immigrants, providing the gang with potential recruits and community to exploit through extortion and other criminal activities. There's also strategic expansion. As TREN seeks to expand its influence, establishing a foothold in U.S. cities like Denver, it allows the gang to control drug distribution networks, engage in human trafficking, and establish connections with other criminal organizations. There's also some opportunistic targeting here. Now, Denver's diverse population and its role as a transportation hub make it an attractive target for gangs looking to expand their reach. So basically, it's in a great area that they can now bring people in. They have a support system within there, and they're in the center part of the United States. They can start sending their trash everywhere and start affecting other communities. All right, so let's talk about TREN and our churches. Why should churches be worried about TREN? All right, the biggest one is going to be targeting during funerals. So this gang is particularly violent. They are killing rivals, and as they start expanding and killing more people, they're going to want to wipe out entire gangs. Those gangs families are usually very religious and are Christian. And what they're going to do is they're going to hold a funeral. When they hold a gang funeral, all of the gang members come from all around to go support their friend that passed away. Every gang member knows that's the time you hit. You hit at that church at that time of the funeral because everybody's there and you don't have to go hunting around looking for the bad guy. Now, I was also a sniper team leader and a police sniper. And I can tell you on more than one occasion, I had to provide overwatch as a sniper at a gang funeral, knowing that the rivals were going to come to attack people up there. And part of it was a visible presence to let rivals know, like, if you try to shoot this up, then we're gonna have a gunfight right here, right now. The other thing is also just, doing surveillance and getting intelligence as well. But it is a very common tactic for churches to get attacked. So if you're gonna hold a funeral in one of these areas, and it could be in a very nice area as well, you should look, if you have a young person that has passed away from violence, you should look at what caused that. And if they have gang ties, you should contact your local law enforcement agency and let them know, because they might not know that there is gonna be a gang funeral at your church and you would like visible security there. They will provide extra people. As an example, me being the sergeant in charge of the gang team, I would send my crew out there and it's called flying the flag. We would fly the flag through there, basically showing the cops are everywhere, so it's impossible to attack them without them suffering some likewise casualties. Other issue is going to be your regular services being targeted. How are your services going to be targeted? So gang members go to church, especially the Catholic faith. If you're a Catholic church, you're a little bit more at risk than a regular evangelical kind of a church. Reason being is that they go to church. I would drive by our Catholic church during Mass, and I would see known gang members that I know walking in and out. In fact, if I was looking for a particular gang member, I would go to the church when Mass started to watch them walk up so I can go contact them and chat with them, because I knew they were going to be there. Their rivals know that they're going to be at that church service as well, which means that if they want to go shoot them up, that's where they're going to do it.
Let this be a lesson to the gang members in Aurora, Colorado. Please heed my warning. I did 10 years in the joint in the state of Kentucky. I'm telling you right now, the people that are coming, known as the Hells Angels, are not to be fucked with. You are getting ready to have a large swarm of men who are like-minded, brotherhood-driven, and will not govern themselves by the laws in which that you think that they will. You are getting ready to have force that you have never experienced in your life. and people that live on a certain side of the law may be perceived as whatever. But I promise you this, we know that you're taking advantage of defenseless people. You will be the ones calling the law, because you do not want men like me and the people that we associate with to descend upon you, because we will not care about evidence. We will not care about any of that shit. There will be guns, there will be knives, and there will be no more time for questions. Please leave before you force the hand of a power that you do not know the extent of how far it reaches. If you try to meet them with any type of resistance, you will die. You will die in the street. They are gonna fuck you up.
All right, Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Quadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying. And you see what's going on over there in Aurora, Colorado. It's not really too much media coverage on it, no mainstream media coverage, but it's basically a gang takeover. All right, and I just finished watching Elder Apostle Tahar's video where pretty much he said that this is the fulfillment of 2nd Esdras 15 and 16, the 15th chapter and the 16th chapter. So that's what's going on here. You know, the Lord, he's stirring up the pot here in America, Babylon the Great, all right, the pot of chaos. And really, when you get real deeper into it, this is really a staged event, because they let these people in, you know. This is not something that is just organically happening. All right, a lot of things that we see happening, especially right now in these last days, it's a lot of false flag attacks. And if I do find it, it'll be in the video, but there was a clip going around on TikTok that was circulating in which one of these Venezuelan gang members, which by the way, these are actually Israelites of the tribe of ASSHUR. All right, the so-called Brazilians and Venezuelans, they're of the tribe of ASSHUR. And pretty much this guy was saying that they were sent over there, you know, so whoever the higher ups of these gang members are, whoever they may be, we don't know. Maybe other gang members, maybe it could be governments. They basically ordering them gang members to come here and create chaos. You know, that was basically their MO of coming here. You got people who they came here to, you know, seek a better life for them and their family, escaping the poverty, you know, so on and so forth, and the economic downfall of that country, Venezuela. But you got some of them that's coming over here, they being told to come here and basically kill people, you know, steal, kill, and cause chaos. So what's that about? You know, that video, I seen it, like I said, like 2-3 months ago on TikTok. All right, so this is 2nd Esdras 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And there you go. You know, we're not ignorant of the plans. The word devices there in the Greek is noema, which means an evil thought or purpose, you know, something, an evil intention that somebody's up to. Well, we know that this is being orchestrated by the so-called white man, who is Esau, Edom, and the devil and Satan that the Bible speaks of. I mean, even on the low level, on the political level, this is because of Joe Biden's policies that all these people are able to come in, you know, unscreened. We don't know who they are. We don't know what type of criminal background they got. So what would make any sense to let these people into the country in the masses of numbers that they allowing them in? Because it's being planned out. This is a stage event. All right, and the point of it is really to cause a civil war, you know, more racial tension, obviously, and putting that spirit of the Civil War back in America. All right, because these Hell's Angels, you know, brother's been doing video responses to it. The brother Qadar Shapat did one. I seen Elder Apostle Tahar's video as well. And the Hell's Angels, which is like a Edomite dominant biker gang, you know, motorcycle bike gang here in America. They said they're gonna go deal with that because the government's not dealing with it. So why is the government not dealing with it? Why is the police not dealing with it? Why is any FBI, CIA, or any of these organized, you know, these intelligence agencies or whatever, why they not dealing with this if it's a problem? You got American citizens whose lives is being threatened. You know, their homes are being invaded. They talk about invading churches. So when does the government actually step in? Well, there's no media coverage on it. So you talk to the government, the governor, you know, or the city council or whoever, and they don't know. They saying there's nothing going on. You know, they're just covering it all up. So what the hell is really going on? All right, this is prophecy here, and this is going to lead to nation against nation, which is basically a nation of people such as the Israelites against a nation of people such as the Edomites. Israelites being you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Edomites are you so-called white people today. And so this is creating more tension and is going to lead to civil war, which really, I don't even know if you can call that civil war. These people are migrants. They're not even from America. All right. But you're going to have people that they got to pick a side, you know, either they're going to all team up against these migrant gangs, or you may even have some Jake amongst them that's actually from America that is in the gang too. All right. Because these people, they got phones and shit. Yeah, they going through some economic, you know, turmoil, which is really bad, the inflation and stuff, but these people still communicate with people in the US, man. You know, that through the internet, people all over the world could talk through WhatsApp and Telegram, etc. So, you know, this is an organized movement that's happening. This is not just some random gang members that don't have no food and water, and now they on the hunt, you know, looking for food and water. That could be the case. They could be broke, you know, and they just doing what they know best. But more than likely, a majority of these gang members was actually sent here to America with a mission. You know, they was told exactly what to do. Oh yeah, it was the excuse me for the background noise. It was the cops in New York. A few months ago, there was an incident with a migrant that I guess he stabbed a cop or shot a cop, and it was him. You know, when they had him in the court and they was giving him his trial, he said he was told to do that. He said somebody told him to do that. And I don't remember the details. I didn't really look too much deeper into it, but it was a video that surfaced in which he was explaining to them that it wasn't his idea to do that, and he was being told, they're being instructed to go shoot cops and go, you know, come against the law enforcement. So what the hell, like I said earlier, man, what the hell is really going on? You know, why does it seem like the government, the people who caused this problem, why does it seem like they don't have a solution for this? Well, there is going to be a coming solution for it when it gets worse. All right, when things get a lot worse, then you're going to have that second Esdras 15 and 16 effect, you know, take place, because the government is going to have to step in with their troops, man. They're going to have to step in with military. All right. And the cops, they're not going to want to do their job, which is to serve and protect the community. Supposedly, that's a quote unquote job. But they're not doing it, and they're not going to want to do it because they themselves got families. And these people that's coming up here, these criminals, because that's what they are. These people they got bodies on them. You know, these Venezuelan migrant gang members, you know, they've done all type of things. Some of them are cannibals. You know, when you look into documentaries of the gang activity that goes down in South America, it's like a lot worse than over here, you know, Jake over here in America. They think they hard, you know, they shooting each other. Them dudes is harder, you know, they be cutting them up into pieces. You know, like I say, you got some of them, they cannibals. These people are just different. Their mindset, their mentality is not like a so-called average American. So they would not hesitate in a time of distress or, you know, a time of trouble. They won't hesitate to take a cop out, you know, or some type of government official. You know, them people be riding up against their government right now. You know, them Venezuelans, they're currently in a protest against, you know, the elections and stuff, saying that it's rigged, etc. But them people, they don't play the same, you know, the same game, so to speak, that here in America. You know, they more ruthless. So Hey man, it's gonna come some race wars out of this thing, man. Gang wars and race wars. And you know, once these cops, they're not gonna be able to do nothing, because all you got is a little gun. I think they got like 9mm or something. Some of them, you know, the heavier squads, they may have shotguns and assault rifles, but these dudes got all of that. They got pistols, they got shotguns, they got assault rifles, they got submachine guns. You know, they equipped with all that. Where'd they get it from? Oh, we don't know, right? It's just a mystery. We don't know where these guys got weapons, but we don't know where they're getting the weapons from. You know, this is a stage event, man. Like I said, this is all staged, and it is going to lead to civil unrest. Like I said, you can't really call it a civil war, but once American people has to get more involved in this thing, just as the Hells Angels are, you could kind of consider it a civil war, because it's happening within America. It's not like we going to war with Venezuela. These are Venezuelans that's in America that's going to war with Americans. All right, this is what's going on, man. The Lord said there was going to be wars, rumors of wars. It was going, basically the earth was going to be already on fire before he actually comes, because he's not coming to quench the fire. He's not coming to solve these issues. The Lord is the one that's creating these problems for prophecy's sake. All right, and really because America got to go down by violence, because that's the way that it was built up. Now remember, this land was stolen. All right, once upon a time, don't forget that. This land was stolen, and the people that it was stolen from are still here, suffering, the Israelites. All right, namely of the northern kingdom, you know, the tribe of Gad, so-called Native American Indians, the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexicans. And really the whole of South America is still being oppressed by Esau. Even though they are dwelling on their own land, they don't really have rights to their own land. The resources of their own land, it's not even benefiting them. These are lands that are rich with natural resources, but yet how are they in an economic how are they in an economic collapse? How are they living through that? And these people can barely afford a $500,000. How? Because that's the works of the devil, the so-called white man. So this is his agenda. This is his MO. And the Lord, he said it. He said those that dig a ditch, you know, they're going to fall into the ditch which they dug. So everything is coming right back around on top of these devils. You know, these migrants, I hope they out there not fucking with Jake, you know. And I say that, you know, that's just loose. I'm just, you know, throwing it out there. I hope they not fucking with Jake. I hope they fucking with these Edomites, man. Because they're the reason why our people is in the state that we in. All right, and first and foremost, taking accountability of our own actions. Of course, we're the reason why, because we sinned against the Lord, us Israelites. All right, the 12 tribes, even you so-called Venezuelans, y'all are into all type of idolatry and, you know, just sinning against the Lord. You worship at Caesar Borgia. But look, some of them, they not playing around, man. They not all the same. You know, you got some of them that's actually really crazy. And they taking orders, man. At the end of the day, that's really the point. They taking orders to go do what they doing, which is like what they saying. Now they're going to start invading churches. All right, what you people going to do? You going to call on Jesus? You better get a fucking gun. Jesus is not going to save none of you. But like I said, I really hope they fucking with Edomites, man. I hope that's the people that they really targeting. You know, because it's about damn time. Eventually, that's what it's going to lead to anyways. Matter of fact, let me get that in the book of Isaiah real quick. I'm going to close it out. I'm going to read a few more scriptures. And I pretty much made the points. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 15. Actually, verse 14, it says, "And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land." And so you got people, that's what they're going to have to do. In a scene of a race war, you can't team up with another race of people. You got to cleave to your own people. And that's to say, well, you got Edomites, they're treacherous against their own. But guess what? You're not going to be able to team up with Jake. All right, you Edomites, you're going to be on your own. You fucking gooks, you chinks. And you Asian people here in America, you're going to be on your own. All right, Jake, the 12 tribes is going to come together. Because that's what the Lord is doing, first starting with the elect. But even through the race war, you're going to have the tribe of Judah, which is the so-called Negroes, African Americans, and the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans, which really represents all 12 tribes. You're going to have the major tribes come together. They're going to fight together in this land, all right, against the Edomites, which is the so-called white man, which is our enemy. the one who's done all of this to us. So this thing is going to end in blood. This is not going to, the police is not going to come in. They're not going to fix this. This is being staged. It's a deliberate plan. All right. In the scriptures here, it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword. You see, so you're going to have to stay far away from the Edomite. That's who's really talking about, the chase row. That, and the sheep that no man taketh up is talking about the so-called white man himself, because of all his wickedness and evil that he's done. All right, when that day comes, people is not going to help you. All right, you're going to be everyone's enemy. You're going to be at the bottom of the food chain. Now you have some patriotic Edomites. You got Edomites who's ready for civil war. You got militia groups, you know, Edomite militia groups. You got Bible Belt Edomite organizations. So it's not just going to go out one-sided, so to speak. I mean, it will once it gets hot. But meaning you're going to have Esau fighting back. You know, you're going to have Edomites bearing arms with their so-called Second Amendment and the Constitution, you know, basically in their heart and their mind saying, you know, we have to do this. This is legal according to the Constitution. We got to fight these migrants off. We got to fight these violent niggas off, basically. All right, because, yeah, it's going to get bad. When there's no more food, when things start to dwindle and the numbers start depleting, it is going to start getting very one-sided, man, because Jacob just going to take over. The Lord's going to allow his people to turn up, basically, right before they all be destroyed, because even the 2/3 is going to have some fun, you know, but it's going to go back and forth. You know, it's going to go back and forth for a while, because them Venezuelan gangs, they're not ready to deal with them Hell's Angels, bro. I'll just say it like that. They're not ready to deal with that, and they're not going to prevail against them. You know, some of them is Jake, yeah, some of them, most of them is Esau, but them dudes is like an organized military like the apostle was going into. They're not going to just be able to really do anything. You know, so again, this is going to stir up tension, because guess what? If them gang members go in there and start killing them Venezuelans, they still going to be considering that a crime, you know, killing, murdering. Talking about the law system. You know, the law of a vigilante, so to speak, that's not a real thing. I'm just saying it, you know, kind of facetiously, but meaning like, you know, you got the Batmans and stuff like that, and these superheroes who they so-called fight crime, but they always getting in trouble with the law, because that's you're not a cop, you're not a, you know, you're not military. You may be ex-military, you may be an ex-cop, but you're not doing it, you know, basically under the authority of the government. So when you're taking matters into your own hands like that, that could be a crime too. So this thing is just going to get messy, you know. It's going to get messy. Going to 2nd Esdras 15, for verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. That's what's going on right now. All right, invading. They taking over buildings. You know, they taking over people's homes. They even trying to apply like the squatters' rights to some of them. How the fuck you gonna apply a right of an American to a migrant, an illegal migrant? But that's what they doing. All right, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are not gonna keep relying on the government, which is obviously not doing nothing about all these problems that we, so-called we the people, gotta face. You know, they not stepping in and doing nothing. So the people is going to have to protect their own families and their own homes. All right. So their course of their action is going to stand in their power. There's not going to be no 911. And even if there is, they're not going to do nothing. They're not doing anything now. All right. They're not doing anything now. How much more when it gets worse? They're just going to be another casualty in the race war, so to speak, or the civil war. You know, just another number, just another name, not being viewed as like a person with authority, you know, just because they got a badge on. Well, you got a badge, but everybody else got a gun too. So that's the only thing that's really separating you from the average American that has the right to bear arms. It's just you have a badge. You was given authority to be over the people, but once the people don't acknowledge that no more, once they don't regard it, and they take actions into their own hands, you're going to be another victim too. Talking about you police officers, it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So you know, more gridlocks, you know, in the time of how you call it, what they call it, national emergency. You know, they basically close the cities off. They'll block the bridges off and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If they declare some type of emergency, a state emergency, national emergency, that's what they do. They close, they limit transportation between cities. All right, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So once people don't have nothing to eat, they're going to look to the person next to them for something to eat, their own neighbor, their friends. It says in the scriptures that in that day, even friends shall fight like enemies. And it says for great tribulation. So that means there's just going to be so much stuff going on that people's mind, you know, they won't be able to be stable. They're going to lose their mind. They're going to turn on people. All right. They're going to go out there purging. That's another thing. I forgot to use that word. Purging. You know, this is also like a form of a purge. What's happening here. You see what I mean? Just like the movie. So when these things come, you know, the scriptures tell you how the state of the earth is going to be, mainly America, all right, mainly North and Central and South America. But even in other parts of the world, you got, you know, violence and stuff brewing up. All right, so that's what's to come out of this, man. You know, with that, I'm going to say, all praises to Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect.